Today I'm going to teach you step by step how to make this cute scarecrow hat wreath. Welcome to Still Waters Wreath Designs. Come on in. Hello my crafty friends, it's Nikki here at Still Waters Wreath Designs. Come on in. We are going to make a scarecrow hat door hanger / wreath today using the Dollar Tree Witch's Hat frame. You'll find a full materials and tools list below in the description of this video. So if you'd like to recreate it, you can sure do so. How is everyone? Come on in. Welcome, welcome. If you are new to the channel and you love all things wreath making and front door decor, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got new tutorials uploading every single week. And for my friends that have been here with me for a while, thanks for coming back. I so appreciate you. And this is going to be a scarecrow hat, and so I want to kind of bend this top part just a little bit. You want to do it slowly. I mean, it is just a Dollar Tree frame, and I'm just giving it a little bit of a bend right here at the top, just to give it that silly scarecrow vibe. Sometimes it'll snap these crossbars. That's okay. Just curl it back around. And we're going to wrap the top part of our scarecrow hat with 5.5-inch burlap. You can grab this at any craft store or on Amazon. Again, I'll leave some links for you below in the description of this video in case you'd like to recreate it. You'll need your hot glue gun plugged in and ready to go. You're going to want to keep your scissors handy and a few 6-inch zip ties to anchor down your 5.5-inch burlap. And for better coverage, guys, I'm going to fold this in half. So it's 5.5 inches by itself, but as you can see, it's fairly see-through. And so I'm going to fold that guy in half. And I'm going to start on the very tip of our scarecrow hat, like so. I'm going to use my 6-inch zip tie to secure our burlap down, just like so. And I'll use my small snips here just to trim off that excess bit of zip tie. And then we're going to do that one more time, right around our frame and right through our burlap. You could also use Deco mesh if you prefer. I just feel like the burlap will give it more of a scarecrow feel. Perfect. Now that we've got that anchored down, we're going to take some time and wrap our burlap all the way around our entire hat until we get to the brim area. And we're going to keep our burlap folded in half, so it's going to be a little bit of a clunky pain. I apologize, but it's worth it in the end. And so you're going to fold a piece, flip your hat over, make sure those ends are married up, and wrap it again. And you want it to overlap a pretty decent amount just to really give you that good coverage, and wrap it tight, guys. Just like so. So we're just going to keep wrapping and keep making sure our ends are married together. And we're going to wrap tight, tight, tight. So let's speed ahead and keep on wrapping that top of your hat with your folded over burlap tightly and making sure those ends are married together, and I'll meet you back here. All right, once you get to your brim, go ahead and take your 6-inch zip tie, and we're going to anchor this guy down in 2 spots to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Really cinch that guy down tight and trim off those tails. So how cute is that, guys? Already so stinking cute. Now I'm going to take my glue gun, which I had turned on earlier, and I'm just going to, on this back side here, not the front, add a little pea-sized amount of glue to each of these folds on the back side here, where the burlap overlaps itself. And then, so I don't burn myself, I'll press that down with my scissors, just to make sure this guy doesn't get squirrely on us. All right, let's give this about 5 minutes to dry and I'll meet you back here. Now that our glue dollops have dried, let's flip our hat over. So remember, the seamed side and the side that has the two nubs from our zip ties is now the back. So we're going to flip that guy over and grab a handful of tan standard size length. I think they're 12 inches. Let's see. Yep, they are 12-inch long pipe cleaners. And we're going to place one right around the tip of each side of the brim, giving it a couple of tight twists. Like so. And then we're going to add a pipe cleaner around each side of our hat here on this top row. Like so, and they're going to slide a little bit, guys. Don't worry about that right now. We're going to fix that. And we're going to add one right in the middle. So you're going to kind of run that catty corner around that crossbar. And again, couple tight twists. And then we're going to come down to the lower part of our brim. We're going to add 4 more pipe cleaners. So in total, you should have 9 pipe cleaners, 1 on each side of the brim, and then 3 along the top, 1 in the center, and then 1 on either side, and 4 along the bottom. Once you've got those tied around there, and as you can see, they're squirrely, we're going to flip that over, and you'll nearly for sure have to reposition those pipe cleaners. And then I want you to take your hot glue gun and just run a little bead right over your frame there where the pipe cleaner meets it. And that's going to keep those guys in place. And then we're going to give it a few minutes to dry. And if you're new to working with hot glue, as you can see when you put it on, it's clear. And then once it's dry, it has like a milky look. And so wait for those to dry and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, friends, so let's prepare for the next step of the process. We're going to grab 2 different types of 10-inch Deco mesh. I'm going to use this burlap colored that actually matches the burlap on our hat. And then also I've got this chocolate brown that's got some glitter ribbon striping. It's got a pretty green, orange, and like a goldish beige. And so we're going to use both of these for the next step. All right, friends, so let's get our Deco mesh prepared. The tan Deco mesh, we're going to cut 9 pieces at 25 inches in length. I'm just going to use my rotary cutter here. If you're new to crafting or wreath making and you're not familiar with a rotary cutter, it's basically like a small pizza cutter and it lets you cut your Deco mesh really quickly and with nice clean lines. So I definitely recommend that. I'll leave a link for you below. So again, go ahead and cut 9 pieces of the tan at 25 inches in length and I'll meet you back here. Now that we've got our burlap or tan pieces of Deco mesh cut, it's time to cut our second Deco mesh. So grab your chocolate brown 10-inch Deco mesh and we're going to cut 9 pieces at 10 inches in length. So go ahead and get those pieces cut and I'll meet you back here. All right, our Deco mesh pieces are cut. Our glue has dried on our pipe cleaners on our frame. And so let's bring our frame back up to our work area. It's time to add our Deco mesh into each of our pipe cleaner ties. I would recommend that you grab a chip clip or a clothespin. These actually came in a 10-pack from the Dollar Tree, and I'll show you why that is in just a second here. So we're going to start with the tan Deco mesh that, remember, was 25 inches in length, and we're going to make cruffles, friends. And so what I want you to do is lay your Deco mesh in your work area, curl side up, and at one end, just curl that end in 2 or 3 times. And what that does is tuck away the raw edge of your Deco mesh to keep it from fraying. We're going to do the same thing to the other end. So I'm just going to give it a couple, 2 or 3 curls. And then we're going to scrunch and gather our Deco mesh right back into our fingers. So using your thumbs as the stationary holders for your curls here, then use your 8 fingers and just crawl this Deco mesh right into your hand like so until you reach the end. And then what we've just made is a woodland ruffle, or also known as a cruffle. Then take your chip clip and hold that entire piece together like so. Next, you're going to grab your 10-inch piece of chocolate covered mesh and we're going to make a curl. And to make a curl, you're just going to lay your piece of Deco mesh into your work area, curl side up, and we're just going to roll this guy into a tube. So it's probably 1 inch or so in diameter in the center. And then of course it flares a bit at the end. We're going to come back to our cruffle and pinching in the middle so it doesn't come undone. We'll pinch that Deco mesh material together, release our clip. We're going to add our single curl right on top in the middle so that it's seam side down. And then you're going to come over here to your wreath frame and add that guy just like this right down into the center of your ties. You can start anywhere you'd like because we're going to do the same thing for every single set. So I've just added it to the center of my pipe cleaners all the way down to the base. I'm giving those pipe cleaners 2 or 3 tight twists. And we've just added our first Deco mesh cruffle and curl. Let's do one more together and then we'll speed ahead. So grab your tan or burlap colored Deco mesh, lay it in your work area, curl side up. Curl one end 2 or 3 times to tuck away that raw edge, and then hold it in place with your clip. Spin that guy around. Do the same thing on the other end, make a couple 2 or 3 curls to tuck away that raw edge, and then crawl that mesh back into your fingers like so. And then we'll pinch it together, and then we'll hold it in place with our clip and we'll set it off to the side. Now we're going to grab a piece of the chocolate mesh that we cut into 10-inch pieces, and we're going to roll that into a curl, which is really just a tube, so that it's about 1 inch or so in diameter in the center. We'll come back to our cruffle, pinch that cruffle tightly with our fingers so it doesn't come undone when we remove the clip. We'll add the curl right on top of our cruffle, and then we're going to come to the next set of pipe cleaners. We're going to do the same thing, placing it all the way at the base, giving it a couple of tight twists. We're going to make sure that those ends butt up together nicely, like so. We're going to do the exact same thing, making the cruffle and curl combination and adding that into every single set of pipe cleaners, and then I'll meet you back here. All right, now that we have our cruffles and curls added into the brim of our hat, how stinking cute is that? Love, love, love. So it's time for us to move on to the next step. So let's go ahead and sit our scarecrow hat off to the side while we move on to the next step. Remember, we've got 9 pipe cleaner ties around the brim of our hat. And so what we're going to use for this last step are a few different things. This is just an orange colored Deco mesh tubing from the Dollar Tree. We're also going to use some raffia that I actually grabbed from Amazon. And I've got this super cute fall ribbon spool that came from Hobby Lobby. And again, friends, I'll have links, a list for you below in the description of this video of everything that we've used so that you can recreate if you'd like to do so. So we're going to start with our Deco mesh. We're going to add little bits of each to every single set of those 9 ties. So let's grab our scissors. Now, friends, if you've not worked with Deco mesh tubing before, it's cylindrical and probably 1/4 inch in diameter, but it flattens out really quickly. And we don't want it to flatten. We want it to stay in this nice rope tube. And so don't pull on it when you're working with it. Just let it lay organically. And so I want you to cut 9 pieces of your Deco mesh tube at 28 inches in length. And so I just measure out my first piece. And remember, you're not pulling it tautly. You're just going to let it lay naturally, and then at the 28-inch mark, cut it off. Then you can just use this same piece for your measuring. So go ahead and cut 9 pieces of Deco mesh tubing at 28 inches in length, and I'll meet you back here to the side. Let's go ahead and cut some ribbon. This is just a fall ribbon spool that came from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to cut 9 pieces at 28 inches in length of the yellow, the maroon, and the brown, but not the orange. So again, 9 pieces of each color at 28 inches in length, and I'll meet you back here. All right, now that I've got my ribbon strands cut, it's time to cut some raffia. So if you've not worked with raffia before, friends, raffia is just a super cute but super messy product. And so we're going to need 9 bunches of our raffia, and it's kind of rolled up onto itself just as you see it here. And it's basically like straw. So I'm just going to cut some pieces that are probably 10 to 12 inches in length. And I'm just going to cut a few at a time because we can cut more off as we need it. But as you can see, it is a messy, messy product. All right, so I'm not sure if the camera is capturing this, but off to the left-hand side here, I've got my 9 pieces of orange Deco mesh tubing, the 3 different colors of ribbon strands, and a small pile of raffia. So I'm going to grab my scarecrow hat and bring it back to our workstation. And we're going to make just little bundles of cuteness, and we're going to add the exact same thing over and over into every single set of ties throughout the brim of our scarecrow hat. You're also going to want to grab some scissors or small snips so that we can trim off the pipe cleaners as we go. And so starting with a piece of Deco mesh tubing, you're going to lay one end in the center of your hand, and you're basically just going to make a figure 8, just like so. You're going to want a little bit of each of the ends left over so that it doesn't come unraveled, but you'll be basically making a figure 8 with the stems here. Next, we're going to add 1 strand of each of the 3 colors of ribbon, that cute mustard yellow, maroon, and brown. I'm grabbing 1 of each, and we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to pick them up all together and just make a ribbon figure 8 as well. Again, leaving some strands. Some of the strands sticking out at least an inch or so to 2 inches so that you've got plenty of grace and they won't come undone. If you have some lengthier pieces, just trim them off like you just saw me do. And then last but not least, I'm going to grab just a few, however many you'd like, friends, just a few pieces of raffia, and I'm going to lay that right within my bundle. And then you can just start at any set of ties here. I'll just start here so that it's in good camera view. Place that little bundle all the way down to the base of any set of ties, and you're going to give it 2 or 3 tight twists so that that cute little bundle is nice and anchored down. And then with your snips or your scissors, just trim off the remaining bits of your pipe cleaner. And we've just added our first bundle in to our cruffle. Let's do one more together and then we'll speed ahead. I'm gonna grab a piece of the Deco mesh tubing, laying the end in the middle of my hand and making a figure 8. Like so. And then I'm going to grab one strand of each of the 3 colors of ribbon in my work area here. I'm just laying one on top of the other. Like so. I'm going to pick up the ends, keeping them all together. I'm going to make a figure 8 out of the ribbon. Making sure you leave a few inches or at least an inch on each end so it doesn't come undone. And then I'm just going to grab a little bit of raffia, place that at the back of my hand. I'll move on to that next set of pipe cleaners. I'm going to place that cute little bundle all the way down to the base. And then I'm going to tie them down nice and tight, a couple, 2 or 3 tight twists. Then I'm going to grab my snips and trim off the excess bits of pipe cleaner. So go ahead and repeat that same step through all of your pipe cleaner ties, friends, and I'll meet you back here. Oh my goodness, you guys, look how stinking cute this fella is turning out. All right, we've got one more step. And so I've reserved one of the ends of the pipe cleaner that I had trimmed off from our base, and let me show you why. We're going to grab some of the orange Deco mesh tubing and we're going to make the same figure 8, about 4 loops or so on each side, and you want the whole thing to be basically not longer than 6 inches or so. So I'm just going to take my leftover bit of pipe cleaner and tie our little bundle down. And again, guys, not looking for perfection. Nobody's going to be measuring. So it's going to look something like this. And then we're going to use just a very small amount of raffia. So I'm just like that. I'm going to take another bit of leftover Chanel stem or pipe cleaner and secure that guy down like so. And again, you want sloppy, messy, perfectly imperfect little bundles here. And then I'm going to trim off my ends. I've still got my glue gun heated up off to the side here. And we'll trim off the ends from our Deco mesh tubing bundle as well. And what we're going to do at this point, friends, you're either going to want to grab a pair of scissors or a rubber fingertip. We're going to actually glue this guy right down near the top of our tip. So I'm putting 2 full squeezes. And we're going to place that guy down like that. We're going to do the exact same thing right on top of that. 2 full squeezes, and then add our orange Deco mesh bundle. And we're going to press and hold. I've got mine off at an angle just because I like mine whimsical, but you could center it up if you'd like. So you're going to want to give it a good 30-second push to really let that get a nice hold. And last but not least, I have this super cute pack of burlap flowers. This also came from the Dollar Tree. So you could use the cream colored or the tan. I'm actually going to use the cream colored just to give it a little bit of a change in color. So this is what they look like, friends. They're just kind of a stiff. There's a little button in the middle and they're flat on the back. And I'm going to give 2 generous squirts of glue right on top of that orange bundle and press that guy down. And again, you want to give it a good 30-second hold, or better yet, lay something heavy on top of it to really make sure that guy is nice and in place. And that's all there is to it, friends. I hope you enjoyed creating with me today. I'm going to add a picture of this beauty hanging from my front door at the end of this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed creating with me today, and be sure to hit that subscribe button, and the full materials list will be available to you in the description below on this video. Thanks, friends. Happy crafting.